right? Yes. Okay. Please give me 2 minutes before I start the class. Please give me just 1 minute. I'm going to start the class now. Yeah. Let's start with the class. Yes, I hope I'm audible now. Okay, right. Now, yes, I want you to please pay attention now. Okay, let's begin with the class. So now we are going to start with object-oriented programming concepts. Okay, so what is object-oriented programming and why we need it is what I'm going to explain. Okay, yeah, okay, yes. Now I want you to in here, please. Now, what are the properties of object-oriented programming? Okay, the observer should be able to recognize the purpose of the solution without necessarily knowing the problem in advance. So, what is this? Is I'll tell you. Say, whenever we go to an ATM machine, okay, we use the ATM machine by inserting the card and following through the interface. Okay, now, do we have ever thought of trying to know which is the programming that is running this logic or running this machine here. Is it Java or C++? Nothing we try to, nothing is important for us. Okay, we will only concentrate on we machine to do the transaction and we come back, isn't it? Right. So one more thing is, do you know the printf function never goes and prints whatever we say hello world. Okay, the printf function never prints it on the screen. It actually sends that argument as a string to one of the APIs, to one of the functions of the OS, which will do that job. Okay, right. So we never know all these things, but we still are able to use the function printf or say scanner so easily, right? Okay, so now this is um, this is abstraction. Okay, so what is abstraction? Now take for example, take all your college bags. Okay, now college bags, we are using it, the school bags, the college bags, we are using it since so many years. Okay, it has the zip, right? So how does the zip works? Do we know, or do you people know? Many of us, we don't know how the zip works, though we use it and daily, and that too since years, right? So how the zip works is very simple. There are teeth. Okay, there are teeth, so many teeth on either side. That pulley that we use to close and open, okay, the zip, right, is used as the interface. Okay, right. Now here what happens, the pulley that we use, right, what it does is it closes the teeth so tightly that, okay, we cannot access the things inside the bag. Okay, now when it opens, what it does, the lock, the teeth that were locked, okay, right, they are released, the locks are released, and we are able to access the things. So that is how the zip works. Now next, observe that in your classroom there might be some ceiling fans, right? Now how does the ceiling fan work? Say suppose I want to make it run fast, so what I do, I'll use the regulator, correct? The regulator, we turn it clockwise, the fan runs fast. You turn it counterclockwise, it runs slow. Okay, but how is that it is running faster or slower? Do we know, or do you know? See, the implementation is very simple. You open the knob there and see there are resistors that are used. So when it is running faster, the current flow is through only less resistors. When the fan is running slower, the current flow is through more number of resistors. Okay, right? That's the idea. Okay, but it is hidden. It is hidden. What is hidden? The implementation is hidden. Okay, do we know the implementation of printer? No, we don't know, right? So what is abstraction? Abstraction, let's come to this. What is abstraction? We are discussing object oriented programming concepts. Okay, right, this is what we are learning. Okay, now okay. I want you to pay attention. Okay, right, we are learning object oriented concepts. Okay, in that we are going to learn the terminologies AEIP. Okay, what are AEIP? It is abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. First we will learn abstraction. Okay, now what does abstraction do? Abstraction, it makes the user use the solution easily without having to know the implementation of the solution. Okay, it makes the user use the solution easily without having to know the implementation of the solution. Okay, right? How does it do? How does it do this job? It does this by hiding the implementation to the user and by giving an interface that is understandable by the user. Okay, right? So abstraction separates the use and the implementation of a solution. Okay, very important. This is very, very important. Now next is the most important thing. The purpose of abstraction is not to hide but to give a easier way for the user to use the solution. To do this, the abstraction hides the solution, but the intention is not to hide. Okay, the intention is not to hide. The work done is to hide the solution. The work that we do is to hide the solution, but the purpose or the goal is not to hide. The goal is not to hide. Okay, it is only one of the steps that is taken, that is hiding is one of the steps that is done so that an easier way is given to the user to use the solution. So what is the purpose of the purpose of abstraction is to give an easier way for the user to use the solution. Okay, the same points I have written it again and again. Okay, right, in little differently. So try to understand, abstraction is there in day-to-day life, is in our day-to-day life. Okay, right? How a lock works, we don't know. Okay, how the we change the gear in a car or a bike. Okay, so what is that changing gear? Okay, and how does it work? Okay, we don't know. Right, what is the work of the clutch? We don't know, or how it is implemented, we don't know, but still we are able to use it, isn't it? Right. Okay. Now say suppose if any person, whatever we use in day-to-day life, if we have to know the implementation, so then it is impossible to lead the life. We use the RFID cards in our companies to take entry to the premises or to the building. Okay, we just flash the ID card to the RFID readers. Okay, and the door gets opened. So how does that work? How does it work? We don't know. But we know how to use it. So this is abstraction. Okay, so now why is that abstraction we are talking here so much is because whenever we write a code, whenever we write a code or we develop a code, okay, we must build it so that our users of the code can use it just like that. That is to use without having to know the implementations. Implementations means we can say algorithms. So what algorithms? Say I have written a class. Okay, in that there is a function, say sort. Okay, now sort objects. So now you people will use the function sort objects to sort your objects. Okay, depending on some field. Okay, right? Okay, so now when you are using my solution to sort the elements, okay, to sort the objects, you people should not worry whether the function uses bubble sort or selection sort or insertion sort or merge sort, heap sort, quick sort. So which of the sorting technique it uses, okay, you should not worry. You should not be able to, or you should not just even think about it. You should simply use the function. That's abstraction. Okay, right? Okay, I hope you have understood abstraction. Now let's continue. See, in procedural programming paradigm means strategy. In procedural programming strategy, reusability is achieved, but changing the code of a function makes it a new function. Makes it a new function means what? Solution. So if you change a function, if you do some changes to a function, okay, it becomes a new solution. So the old solution is gone. The old solution is no more there. Okay, right? It is exactly like I have opened a Word document. I did the changes. Now when I try to close, it will ask, shall I save the changes? So if I say yes, save, then the old content is gone. Okay, right. So now there is no flexibility of the users able to use the different solutions to solve the same problem. Okay, say suppose if at all I had saved the previous function and I did the changes and I have saved the new function also. So both the functions are there, and now the user is allowed to use any one of the two. This is called as polymorphism. So what is polymorphism? One problem, multiple solutions. So for one problem we have multiple solutions. Okay, example, go to a mall. In a mall we will have escalator, elevator and also staircase. Okay, now if I want to go to the top floor, any one of the three I can use at a time. Can I go to the top floor by using both escalator and elevator? It is impossible. Okay, that is polymorphism. Okay, so if one solution fails, we can use the other. Okay, right? Okay, so here in the procedural programming, okay, the problem is that there is no flexibility. Okay, right? So to achieve the flexibility of polymorphism, okay, we have to use the concept something called as structures and function pointers concept. That is difficult to implement, but here in object oriented programming it is easy. Now let's continue. See, object oriented strategy, it uses real life concepts when dealing with the issue of the complexity inherent in large systems. Okay, right? So it is large systems. When we are implementing solution for the large systems, it becomes easier. Okay, the system is structured along objects in object oriented programming, but the system is structured along functions in procedural programming. Okay, next, an object can be defined as real world entity that has attributes, just like structures, and exhibits well-defined behaviors. So well-defined behaviors here means they are functions, okay? They are methods, functions or methods or behaviors, okay? Right? So and attributes and also functions, that is behaviors, okay? A function has a state, has a well-defined boundary, and has a unique identity. This is very important. Now, say suppose three of us, let us go to the bank and let us open a bank. All of us three, let us open bank account. Now the manager says that you should maintain a minimum balance of say 5,000 rupees. Now say suppose I have 5,000 rupees in my account. One of us has say 9 lakh 99,000 rupees. Okay, right. Say the maximum amount we can have in the SB is 10 lakh rupees. Assume. Okay. Now in the first case, that is 5,000 rupees. Now what is the state of the account? It is stable. It is fine. 5,000 rupees is there, so it is fine. What is the state of the second account where 2,500 is there? It is unstable. Okay, it is unstable. Okay, are you observing why? Because it is not maintaining the minimum balance. Now next, come to this 9,99,000. Now the guy who has 9,99,000 in his account, he's trying to deposit another 5,000, but it is not allowing. Why? Because he can have only 10 lakh rupees. Okay, 10 lakh rupees max. So as if he has reached the maximum capacity. So what is the state of that account? It has reached the maximum capacity. So like this, every object will have different states. Two, now assume we are riding vehicles. We are riding vehicles. Okay, say bike one, bike two, bike three. Okay, assume the bike one is moving at 10 kilometer speed, 10 kilometer per hour. Okay, bike 2 is riding at 60 kilometer per hour, and bike 3 is riding at 150 kilometer per hour. So what is the state of the first object? The state is the bike is running slower. State of the second object, the bike is running at some normal speed. Okay, what is the state of the third object? The okay, how do you know the state of a particular object? By checking the value of one of the attribute. Okay, what attribute we have selected here? Speed. Okay, so the speed is very high. The speed is very high in uh, the second, that is in the third case, correct? Okay, and hence the state of the bike is it is moving at very high speed. So that is state of a object. Now well-defined boundary. Now well-defined boundary. Okay. Now it is when we go to the manager to open an account, he clearly tells you have to maintain 5,000. You can have maximum 10 lakhs in your account. You can maximum do 5 transactions in a day. Okay, right? You will be given checkbook facility and ATM card facility. Okay, the maximum transaction, one transaction you can withdraw maximum 50,000 using check. Okay, maximum 15,000 using ATM. Okay, and maximum 25,000 using challan. Okay, something like this. So these are all the what it is doing. It is making our account okay, giving a well defined boundary to the account. Correct, isn't it? Okay, so the restrictions and the conditions, they give the clear boundary. Okay, so that there is no ambiguity. There is no ambiguity at all. Okay, right? And then it has a unique identity. See, depending upon the speed of the bikes, okay, they were having the unique identity. One is running at slow speed, one is running at high speed. Okay, let's continue now. Now generalization, specialization. Now we have steps, of generalization, specialization. What is that? I'll tell you. Now say suppose I have a class called as okay, I have some class here, and then again I have a class here, and again I have a class here. Okay, assume this is class and assume this is class dog. Okay, right, and assume this is class Labrador dog. Okay, take one more example. Say have vehicle, and then we have car, and then we have sedan. Okay, right, and probably you can have one more if you want. Say we have compact sedan. Okay, right, we have compact sedan. If you want one more example, I'll give you. Say we have account, say bank account. Okay, and we have say SB account. I'm sorry, and in that say we have student account. Okay, right. So which is more specialized here? Which is more specialized? You go from, okay, you go downwards, okay, you'll get specialization, you'll get specialized. Okay, right, what we say here is, please note, vehicle is the parent class, okay, that is being derived by car. Please note, okay, the arrow mark must always be towards the parent class. That is inheritance. Okay, so here see roughly what a vehicle should have. All vehicles, what it should have, an engine, it should have some wheels, engine and wheels, correct? Okay, and then it should have some say transmission, and it should have something like way of turning the tires, okay, either by handle if it is two-wheeler, or by steering if it is four-wheeler. Now car is what? It should have minimum four wheels, okay, and to turn it should be only by steering, okay, and so on. Now sedan is a lengthy and less, it will have less height and a less lengthy car.